less forgiving on the, or more forgiving on the north-south moves.
Yeah, so based on this with imagery, it looks like the water depth would be around 2160. 2160 minus 230 is 1930.
So add another 10 to that, so, or minus another 10 to that. We could come down 10 meters. Well, Atlanta's target depth could be 1920 right now.
That's where I am.
Yeah. All right, let's come down 10. Is that right, Annette? So water depth minus 230 minus 10. So water depth minus 240.
Okay.
That's Atlanta's target.
Yep, so you'll have 1920 then.
Thank you. Coming down 10 meters.
And good morning for those who are just joining us on this lovely Friday morning. We are currently seeking a mooring, and we're up in the blue water to give us the best chance of finding it and also making sure that Atalanta and Hercules stay safe. So we're looking.
We've offered a prize for the first one to spot it. Could be sonar, could be visual.
Oh,
A prize for the sonar or a prize for the camera?
Extra good
Should we
polishing.
have different prizes?
do you have those Nautilus gears?
Yeah,
Ooh.
ready to make some custom ones with your logo here.
Ooh. You know, I don't have
your
a
name here.
I don't have a personal logo, but maybe it's time to get one.
Do we want to move another 50 meters before we...
Yeah, as soon as Danny gets himself sorted out there. He's a little bit to the north. And we're trying to keep Hercules tether fully in view there, because, like I say, it would be really easy to fly right past a stealth wire, or a stealth am steel in this case. What do we think it is up here, AJ? It's just a 3/8 am steel line?
Yeah, it's a 3/8 am steel.
Yeah, so it'd be super easy to fly right by it.
That's
Okay.
perfectly aqua.
Yeah.
Ah, looking for blue on blue.
In the deep blue.
You ready?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Another 50 meters.
Yep.
Sure.
Bridge nav.
Need a break there, Dan?
I keep forgetting to...
Can we have another 50 meters
Danny?
west, please?
What's up?
You guys good?
Thank you.
You want to get in here for a little while?
I don't know. Yeah, if you need a break.
Yeah. Been sitting here 4 hours.
Right.
3 hours, I don't know.
We need to bring a bunch of glow sticks next year. That should be part of ROV's standard equipment.
Would they have lasted the week and a half that this mooring's been in the water?
No, probably not that long.
But I do agree, for some operations, those would be super helpful. We'll put it on our rigging tote list.
Be pretty easy to rig up an LED flasher too, cheap. Could probably
Yeah.
even,
We were thinking of doing something like that for our core ass mooring placement when the time comes, because then we can sort of look through this the plume to see if it's the light's scintillating.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure we have some old flashers that we don't care for anymore. We can rig them up to just run underwater until the battery dies for something like this. That would be really helpful.
You could probably make some that you pot in clear epoxy with a battery, and they'd run for years.
Yeah, that's true.
You only have to flash once every, I don't know.
Disposable, or I mean, we could actually put a proper sonar target on it.
Yeah, that would help too. If it flashed once a minute,
That's why I didn't say anything.
we would see a flash. Pulling Atlanta a bit
Yeah,
there.
I'm backing up.
I don't know if you've been listening. Are you hip to what we're doing here?
We have a 50-meter move west, but we've been doing north, and then
Yeah,
north
but
moves, west moves, east moves.
more specifically, we're trying to keep Atlanta 10 meters above
Yeah, at the target
what the
depth.
deepest part of the target would be.
Yeah.
But given the error, it could be above us. So we're trying to keep Hercules in a straight line in front of Atalanta, because if and when you do fly past a blue piece of M still, you're going to catch it with your tether Atalanta. So if it's in a straight line, we can just come up above it. We won't get wrapped up in it. And we're also trying to keep Hercules and Atalanta sonar, just so we know the sonar is working and we're not seeing a ghost of. So when do you want to do another sounding, AJ? You want to move north again first?
I don't think it matters too much if we need, like, how north and south we are. I think it matters more how east and west we are.
Roger. Well, after this move, that'll have been 100 meters.
Yeah, we can do it then, or we can go get ready while you guys start north.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, I guess north would help. Both points are to the north, so the closer we get to one of those 2 points, the better resolution. So maybe we'll go after we go north, rest our arms a little more.
Roger.
Are you talking the points where these circles overlap?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It is quite the workout.
I can't hear you.
If we do put LEDs on there, we may bring in different types of squids. That's how they looked for. That's how they looked for and found the giant squid. They created a Tupperware jellyfish, and basically it was Jello and LEDs, and the squid came in and looked at it.
Oh,
So
cool.
more reason to put LEDs on these things.
Yeah. There's a woman named Edith Witter who has a TED Talk on finding the giant squid, and it's in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Giant squid hunting.
Well, I mean, I feel like if you had a giant squid on the line, you might find it. Plus, I'm still looking for funding for my fish training, so, you know, just loop squids in there.
Are you going to get the fish to do tricks?
No. Just move our equipment, find our stuff.
Oh.
They have dignity, geez.
I see. What do you, okay. I see.
Let's not go down this rabbit hole. Although I guess we've got time.
I don't think I'll use rabbits. They don't do so well underwater.
What kind of epoxy was Brennan using for the deep eye?
I have to check my notes. I can't remember.
Well, it's nothing like super special, just
No, it's pretty
clear epoxy.
pretty standard. Yeah,
Yeah.
two-part epoxy. Then he would draw a vacuum on it when he pull all
we,
the bubbles out.
we used to do the same at Schilling. We would, we had this giant acrylic bubble. We called it Beeger from the Star Trek movie. And we would degas both the halves of the epoxy before we mixed them, and then degas it once again after it was mixed, and then pour it into the mold and put the mold back in and degas that again. Probably overkill on that degas.
Yeah, I haven't worked on any of that stuff in a few years, so I wonder if he's, found out any more tricks along the way, because he's been doing it, a ton.
So Dan, just to confirm, we went 100 meters west and then 50 meters north?
We're currently, since you've come in here, we're on our second 50-meter move to the west. I've lost the plot of what we did before that. Basically, we went, since I've been in here, we've gone north and then we've gone west. So we're kind of doing we're mowing the pasture.
Right.
Hey Dan, I think maybe we should do a transducer hit once the ship move's finished, because it'll at least tell us if we're going in the right direction relative to like west and east.
Yeah, Raj. You did get a 5-meter difference just from that. I think we did a 50-meter move south and you took another transducer.
Yeah. So maybe I'll head down.
Roger. And grab Danny down there if you need some help. You can grab Danny, AJ, if you need some help. He's probably hanging out in the lounge there.
Johan mentioned something that you got depth from Norbit. Were you doing that now, or that's a previously made map?
We did it like at the beginning of watch. We kind of came down and then with Norbit on, and then found the bottom.
Okay.
Without going all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
What's the range of Norbit? Not 230 meters, like 175 maybe.
Something like that. That's about what the altitude we were when we picked up bottom on Norbit. So. But again, there was like a slope, even in the Norbit, you could see it.
Yeah. Chances are we've flown past it or over it at least once already.
Yeah.
It's not that far from where we dropped it. My bet would be it's to the south. But the tides switch here, so it might be worth working out what time it was dropped and which, if the tides were going north or south at the time.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, you've been calling the bridge and doing all your normal stuff over there.
Okay, we're here. We're ready here in the control van. I'll just get permission from the bridge. Bridge nav. Can we have permission to put a transducer over your port quarter? Thank you. Back deck nav, permission granted from the bridge. Roger.
I was giving Johan grief. Got to sound authoritative. Tell those deck people what to do and deploy the transducer 60 meters. The voice from on high.
They know what they're doing.
They do know what they're doing. Yeah, the flip side of that is I want no responsibility for what's happening on the back deck. Just awareness. So the first number that they got was 2030 and change. The next one they got, we moved 50 meters south and they got 2035, which is interesting because we are at 2160.
I have 2131 and 2135.
21, sorry, yeah, 21. But our depth is 2160, right?
But we, if you, is that
Oh, but you
accounting
had
for the range of the depth of the deucer? 60
No.
meters?
Yeah, so if
Yeah. Add the 60 meters and that makes sense.
you, roger. Wait, add or subtract?
It's 60 meters deeper, right? So if the range is 2130, and then the deucer is not at it's 60 meters deeper, so it'd be, the range would be increased from 2130 to 2190, right? I think.
Wouldn't it be closer? You're getting the deucer closer to the, so it will be less?
I don't know. My brain.
Come on, you can't fly and do math at the same time. Is it 2-1? Yeah, it was 2-1. You're right, Leonard. I had it plugged into my app, but my app was barfing because it was not enough information.
So for those who are asking, are moorings typically this difficult to find? They're generally not actually elusive creatures, but our beacon, it doth not beckon. So we have to use another method to find it.
They can be right up there with finding Amelia Earhart's plane.
Well, we have some viewers asking if we can read out our numbers because they're doing some triangulations for us. So
Yeah, the viewers have been, we have a couple mathematicians online to help us out.
Oh.
Keep our navigators honest.
Thank you, viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Nav.
You're welcome.
Didn't they find Amelia's plane recently?
They found a target,
Sonar target.
sonar target.
Could be Amelia's plane.
Dr. Ballard reckons that they have a legit target.
Really?
Yeah, and we're headed to that neck of the woods, so I wouldn't be surprised if
Yeah, it does look like a plane. If it's
scheming
if it's
to
the
put
right plane,
together
who
another
knows?
expedition to go back down there.
Yeah. Down to the decimal.
Only an engineer would put a decimal on 2,130 something.
After we just coiled up line and on deck to count it.
Well, I wonder what the error of that particular instrument is. What the accuracy, I should say, is.
What's our number?
I think I heard 2-1, I don't know. So many numbers.
2134 meters.
0.6.
0.6.
Plus or minus 1%.
Thank you.
Then you take in the account, trying to account for our bathymetry, so our depth here, we reckon, is, I forget what that number was now, 240 meters below Atlanta, which is currently at 1,920 meters.
Here comes the fun part, hauling it back in.
So one of our viewers is saying 282 meters calculated.
Yeah, we've covered about 250 square meters so far to the east of us. So we're working on the next grid to the west.
Since we were chatting about Amelia Earhart's plane, have you found any unknown wrecks? Like, have you ever been like, oh, this is a surprise?
I personally have not, no.
Fair enough.
Well, no, I take that back. We did. I did once. We did.
What did you find?
We were doing some what we call open water trials in Lake Tahoe, California.
Ooh.
And we were down at the deepest part of Lake Tahoe, about 500 meters. And we found, it was a 1920s or 1930s wooden boat. So
Cool.
there was quite a, and part of the pier that sank in a storm. So there was quite the wooden boat culture in Lake Tahoe at the 20s and 30s. And apparently there was a storm. Lake Tahoe can get quite violent with the Pacific Northwest storm coming through. So we attached the line onto it with the ROV, and we had the ROV on a barge up there that does a lot of the moorings and maintenance and stuff around Lake Tahoe. And we hauled it up 2 meters at a time, chain over chain with a bow picker, and kept moving into shallower and shallower water. And we moved it into where it was within diver depth. And we had some of our divers dive on it, take a bunch of pictures, and they found an old lantern, the brass prop, shaft, a bollard. But eventually that it was one of the restoration organizations picked it up and put it in a giant bathtub of glycol where it had to sit for, I don't know, like a year. Because if you pull the old wood out, and let the oxygen hit it, it would just rot. So they basically restored it. It was very expensive, very time-consuming project, but they're seriously into their wood boats there.
Cool.
It's in a museum somewhere up there now. So I'm thinking we go north. You might as well get lined up to go north.
All right.
Yeah.
What?
Or we will get lined up to go north.
See what Lynette comes up with in her number crunching.
Well, it didn't get, it's basically the same number as the last one.
But it should hopefully tell us whether it's
Yeah,
east or west,
it
right?
tells me it's to the west.
Yeah.
So that's 3 hits now, and the first one, it could be south, I guess. The first one, we got closer with the second one, is that right? And the third one's about the same? Or we got further away with the second one? I forget.
Yep. The search continues.
Okay. Are y'all ready for a north move?
Yeah,
Okay, 50 meters.
sure.
All right. Bridge, nav. Can we have 50 meters north, please? Thank you.
Just to double check, Atlanta's still at 1920. So that's Atlanta looking north there, Jake. So you got to
Yeah,
get the
I'm
box.
just about in the box.
I mean, the best I can tell, it looks like we're heading slightly upslope. I don't know if this would be 2190.
Man. Just confirming we're at the right depth for 1932.
What'd you come up with there? Can you pull your tether out? Just make sure
Yeah.
that's...
Yeah, so 1920 is the right depth for Atalanta,
Roger.
assuming a water depth of 2160.
Roger. We know we're making a lot of assumptions here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that was a tether hit there.
Roger.
We want to be able to see the tether because if we do get a blue M steel on it, we'll know right away. You might not see the line, but you'll see the tether deflect. We won't have a lot of time to react.
Lynette,
Yeah.
looking at the sonars, which one is left and right?
These up here.
Yes.
So left is Atalanta's sonar and right is Herc's sonar.
So Atalanta's picking up Herc. Is that the...
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
And then Herc is the other one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're trying to keep Herc there in the sonar at the roughly the 20 to 30 meter mark.
Mm-hmm. For anybody just joining us, we are on a search for a mooring, and hopefully we'll find it soon.
You're going to have to come up about 5 meters, Jake. 3 meters.
And some folks are noticing that there's still interruptions in the live feed this morning, and we do apologize for that. We are very aware, and we are doing our utmost to correct it. And again, hopeful that that will be resolved sooner rather than later.
Downslope. Okay, so do... Oh, but is this the... Okay, so we may have to drop down a bit. Let's see.
It's pushing you to the west there, Jake. You got to come to the north about 10 meters now. I mean, you got to come east. 1935. Oh, okay. Or come down as well.
Roger, I'll come down.
Lynette, the number that we gave Johan for the length of transducer line in the water,
Yeah.
if that was off by, well, for the sake of argument, let's say half. Let's say there was only 30 meters of line in the water. How would that change the circles? It would make them smaller?
I think it would make them bigger.
It would mean that 2135 corresponds to a depth of...
If you're saying that it was less deep in the water?
What was that number,
Yeah.
Jake? We're headed for...
Okay.
213, I mean 1935.
Roger.
I think it would make them smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if all three were smaller, I mean, it doesn't change the direction, I guess, in which they would still intersect all to the north of us.
An interesting exercise, AJ, might be to look at the tide table.
From when we deployed this?
Yeah, you got all those instruments down there. You should be able to know exactly what the current was doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Definitely worth checking.
Yeah. Don't you have scientists for that stuff?
They're all asleep. It's just me on the night shift. I guess Shore could help.
Just look it up on the interweb.
What kind of help do you want from shore?
If they could look up the currents at Endeavour from at the time that we deployed this mooring, which Lynette would have, or you would have a timestamp of.
Yeah, I can get that out.
So yeah, if you can pull up the timestamp, and Shore can pull up. Southeast mooring should have been on. ADCP upwards. ADCPs are hard. Current meter.
Okay.
Current direction.
Oh, no, that's when it was recovered. Okay, so we deployed this mooring on June 16th at 19:12:25.
June 16th?
Yeah.
19, 12. So let's go June 16th. 1900 to 2300.
And good morning to our listeners in Tennessee. This is a great question. Is there a point we would consider the mooring lost? Not yet. And Dan, there's some folks wondering, will Herc get new lasers when he goes back to port?
New lasers?
New lasers, yeah. We hear he's got an eye patch problem.
Where'd you hear that rumor? Wow,
No.
Popeye.
Yeah, Danny and I saw that on deck. We forgot to write it down. It's hitting the top of the shroud of the camera. Like, you can see it.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
lasers. It's not actually broken. It's just
Misaligned?
Misaligned. Yeah.
Roger.
Oh, so in that case, it'll
Just be a little adjustment.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's
Routine maintenance.
That's what I seem to get at the chiropractor. Just a little adjustment.
We haven't been using them, so we didn't care to fix it at the time, but
Oh,
'cause
fair.
we had to go in the water fast. But
Yeah, fair enough. You got to decide what's most necessary.
Throw some duct tape on it. Get back out in the race.
Yeah. Also, what my chiropractors told me. Weird.
We are talking about some new lasers, though. Our lasers have a rather finicky connector on them, same as our temperature sensor. And there's some more modern ones that have a more robust connector. Connectors and cables, there's a lot of them on ROVs, and same with oceanographic equipment in general.
Preliminary looks look like currents were blowing west.
west. Interesting.
Where's our, where are we in relation to where it was deployed?
West.
West.
Yeah, I know we're west in general, but are we north or south of west?
South.
South.
Roger.
Moving north.
There was a target on the nav screen, I think. Oh, never mind. I'll just look at HIPAC if I'm that interested. Well, that's good. That confirms our late night math and transducer exercises.
Do you want Shore to keep looking into this, AJ? Grant's
Yeah,
on it
it would be
too,
nice if
just
they
keep it.
could validate my findings.
Okay, let me know when you're ready for another ship move. Might want to let that swing a little bit.
I don't know.
Wouldn't
I say
hurt.
we keep. I don't know.
Got you there, Jay, because if you come across it
Yeah.
right now, for example, and Atlanta swings in underneath the boat, we'd be too close.
Yeah. We
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about this earlier.
Don't get greedy. Or if you get greedy, realize you could pay for it.
Yep.
Be ready. Plan B. I have to relearn that lesson all the time. The tortoise and the hare. I'm usually the hare.
Did you say Grant was on it, Stephanie?
Yeah, him and Keegan are working to validate AJ's findings.
I see. I do like being validated by my coworkers. It is always nice.
It's really nice.
Yes. Good morning, Grant. Good morning,
Keegan.
Keegan. Thank you. Just testing you.
Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the layback, Lynette. We're just trying to minimize the layback, so whenever you guys are ready.
I think it looks pretty ready.
All right, you're happy? Another
Yeah,
50
I haven't
north?
been moving forward for
Okay.
a couple minutes. So.
Bridge nav. Can we have another 50 meters north, please? Thank you.
And is are we still good with our 1936 on Atalanta, or do we need to compensate?
I think we're okay as far as I can tell.
Or I do. You got a little work to do there, Jake, to keep that tether in the Atalanta view and the Hurricane Atalanta sonar.
Is Norbit still pinging?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Noise on the sonar. I could turn it off.
Where's the... Don't turn it off yet.
You want the GUI?
Yeah.
You know, hit run the perception. Oh,
This one?
Yeah, that one. And then connect anyway.
There's a great question here. Was Herc ever near the equipment after it was deployed? And I think we deployed it, and then we went to a new location. I think we met the cable innovator. So we deployed it, and we had to boogie. Otherwise, we'd have a little more
Yeah, we just deployed it off the deck.
Yep.
Well, Herc was secured on deck.
Yes, yes. But again, it was supposed to have a beacon to beckon us.
It does have a beacon on it. It's just not working.
It's just not beckoning.
Yeah.
So it has a fancy paperweight.
Back in the
Yeah,
beacon.
essentially.
Whoa. All right. Scratch that idea.
Oh, it's good to... There's a lot of settings there. It's
Yeah,
worth
play
playing
around.
with.
I don't even know the limits of it, to be honest.
I see Norbit in your future, Lynette, so you're going to become the expert. Jake needs to not get sidetracked by it because we're going to fly right by a blue wire.
What are you talking about?
I think we're going to find it by Braille. It's my gut. Visual or Braille, we're never going to see it in the sonar.
I would say that happens most of the time.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Where an orbit would be helpful is looking out to the side. It might paint it as we fly by it.
Yeah. Yeah, early on we tried to do the heading thing. Didn't see nothing.
It might be worth a try when we are up in the neighborhood where we think it is.
That's what I'm trying to pull right now.
I've been trying to get Nautilus to,
Yeah,
or
not super helpful.
OET to rent or buy a Gemini.
Is there something else you'd like?
Tritech Gemini.
Forward scanning.
Is that the
Forward-looking
same
multi-beam.
ADC piece, southeast 250 meters up?
Yeah, yeah.
Replace that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know, I wish the EDCP data was easier to digest. That's what I would like. Looks like surface currents were going southeast, and then in the water column it alternates between east and west. And it's pretty consistently south.
What's the drag coefficient on our cable?
2.
The drag coefficient?
I'm just kidding.
0.6.
You can also look at the historical deployment versus landing locations and get an average of how far they
There was
That's data I'm not going to have access to.
there was also a ship move when they deployed it. Was that?
Yeah,
Correct.
because we dragged it out behind us.
Yeah, that's also at play. Swinging around.
Lynette will have that information, whether she can get it from where she's sitting or not.
I don't think so. And this is only
Okay, that ship move is just finishing up.
450 meters out of 2,000.
Yeah.
So I think it's complete wild card where these things are actually going to drift.
Another rule of thumb I use is 10% of water depth. So I don't think it's more than 200 meters from the launch, wherever you let it go.
Well, then we should be making our way back east because we're definitely 200 meters west of the launch.
Yeah. I mean, we know they, I guess that depends on the, that's assuming terminal velocity a meter a second. You could really science the heck out of that one.
Yeah, I can do our terminal velocity calc.
We have a terminal velocity and a current of X. How far is it going to drift in?
Yeah, the problem is the currents we can't really say.
Yeah, but if you pick a number, so whatever the max current was, right? The direction might be harder to work out. It's worth getting a shot of.
So there's some
Cool jelly.
It is a very cool jelly. There's some great questions about sonar and its usefulness underwater. So someone's asking, is my fish finder useless? Well, it depends. If you're looking for vertical eels, probably. If you are looking for horizontal fish, probably not. And that also goes into about, you know, things like when you see it on movies and they're looking for submarines and things like that. Those are much, much larger targets. This target is very small. And so that's what's, that is a significant complicating factor in the search for this this mooring. It's got a couple of instrument packages on it, but as a rule, it's just a thin wire. And for the question asking how we are today, I'm great. Anybody else want to chime in? How are you today?
Okay.
Doing well,
Excellent.
all things considered.
And what search pattern is being used? We are mowing the lawn. Forward to back, forward to back, forward
More
to
like
back.
a pasture.
A pasture. We're mowing a pasture.
South 40.
Yeah, an estate.
A ranch.
A ranch. It gets bigger every second.
How many square feet in an acre? What do you use in Canada? Acres or hectares?
Acres.
Yeah, I'm getting a super slow terminal velocity of 0.22 meters per second.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
It has both a train wheel and a big float on it, so you're going to get double drag off of that. And that's not even including skin friction on the line itself. It weighs about 400 pounds or 200 kilos.
So half a knot it went down. Same
I
speed
guess I
as,
can
same speed as Hercules.
drag coefficient of 0.5 gives us 0.35 meters per second. So yeah, a little more than half a knot.
There you go.
Yeah, it could have gone a long ways.
Have we finished our ship move?
We have, yep. Just waiting on a little swing for Atalanta.
So if it was going down at half a knot and you had a half knot current, that's a big footprint. That's 45, right?
Where are we in relation?
Yeah, well, which would make it 2,000 meters.
Yeah, you're talking about kilometers. What's our grid search so far has been?
I don't know, 150 meters maybe?
The transducer that you were using,
Yeah.
is that to do an acoustic release?
Yes.
Would there be value in releasing it, spotting it from the surface, and redeploying it?
No.
Just curious.
I don't think so.
Fair. You know what? Sometimes it's not worth it. It's
That's
just a thought.
that's a day. It's already down there. It's collecting data. I don't know the value of us doing these CTD checks, but I imagine when people start to wake up, might be time to call it.
Is this one intended to be autonomous?
It is autonomous.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're
Otherwise, we'd have a cable to follow.
right. So the reason we're looking for it is to verify its data with CTDs.
Yes.
I see.
So far, that's some expensive potential data.
Yeah.
6 hours of ship time.
Sure is.
And someone's asking what a GUI is, and it's GUI, which is graphics.
Graphical user interface.
Yeah, there you go. Graphical user interface. It's allows pilots to see all the bells and whistles that they have and to activate various bells and whistles.
Presenting us with the constant opportunity to press the wrong button.
Well, there's only about 8,000 buttons in here.
Yeah, only about 8,000. GUIs or MMIs, man-machine interface, which is probably not politically correct these days.
human
I wonder if there's
machine
an alternate.
interface?
HMI.
GUI is probably, huh? Yeah, HMI. Thank you, Jake. I knew you should know that. Human machine interface.
The transducer that we're using to look for it, is there a reason it's not part of Herc or the ship on a permanent basis? Is it special to us?
Yeah, it's a transducer that comes with our acoustic releases, so it's for speaking to those specifically. And I don't think Herc or the ship really care to mount instrumentation that's sort of not used very often, which would be the case, I think.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we've never had I've been doing this a while, and I don't think I've ever put a acoustic release on the vehicle.
So Atalanta's about settled out. Do we want to keep moving north or move back east towards the deployment location? One more step north and then east?
Yeah, I think we should keep going north and then do another transponder.
Okay.
It's such a slow terminal velocity that I think we got to start getting bigger with our data points here, because I think otherwise we're going to look forever, and that's not really helpful.
All right, another 50 north.
Yep.
Okay.
If I'm counting my
Bridge nav. 50 meters north, please. Thank you.
if I'm counting my squares right up here on my little 2D nav, we're about 100 meters west of where the navigation, where the waypoint is, where we let it go.
Still at a good depth here. We're not flying over everything.
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
All right.
Looks like there's like a little bit of a valley here, and then uphill again.
Like ridge or something?
Yeah.
You're sliding off to the west there, Jake.
Roger.
It would be really comforting if we went with the transducer and we saw like another circle that corresponded with those first three once we get to the end of this move.
Yeah, I mean, so measurements 2 and 3 were essentially exactly the same slant range.
Yeah.
And we moved west.
100 meters west, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would think that that would imply that it is
To the north.
to the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of that acoustic release.
Fair.
Yeah. Convinced Danny to get out of the chair.
Well, our distance right now would be a drift angle of less than 3 degrees. We're only 100 meters away from the deployment. Should be a slant range of 2163 versus our 2161 water depth. cover 2 square kilometers, I think would consume the remaining time we have left on the expedition.
Give or take 7 days.
Yeah.
So a viewer has provided a new word, which I've never heard, but I like, and I feel like I should share it with you. It's boostrahedron, and it is boostrahedron. It is a technical term for mowing the lawn, plowing the field. So the back and forth motion that we are doing is a boostrahedron.
Oh.
I like it.
I gotta look that up.
Boostrahedron.
I did look it up because I refuse to say a word on air I don't know without looking it up. That seems
That's
like
probably good practice.
yeah, it
That's
seems
probably
like a
good practice.
recipe for trouble.
I gotta text my friends with a landscaping company. They can sound more fancy.
Exactly.
I must be spelling it wrong. How do you spell it?
You spell it
B-O-U.
B-O-U-S-T-R-O-P-H-E-D-R-O-N. And yes, I did put it in a help me save this word generator. But I like that you can actually add, like English is great because we can have boostrahedron. We also have boostrohedronomically and boostrophenonic. Blah. Take that, Scrabble.
Boostrahedron from writing from left to right?
Yep.
Nav, after the ship move, or I guess all front row, after the ship move, let's keep going north. Because I think we got to rely on our acoustic release headings here, so let's just make it more dramatic.
Roger.
Roger.
And thanks for the new word. I will try to use it.
Boostrahedron.
Right.
Did your current inquiry, AJ, give a
Nothing useful.
but no current velocity?
No, it hovers around 0. It's so wild through the water column. It's not consistent
So
enough.
It gives you a direction, but not a speed.
No, I don't have a way of visualizing it like that.
Roger.
I can't separate the two. All I get is northing and easting in shades of blue to red through the water column, and it just looks like back and forth speckles. So that's not like it's chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos.
You need some software to decode that.
Yeah, I can't even. Oh, maybe I could download the raw files, but in a MATLAB format. I don't have MATLAB. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, the DVL on even our DVL is it's got some fancy software to give us a number that means anything. The one on the Thompson used to give you this 3D colored map that would just make my head explode every time I try and look at it and work out.
I like the one on the Tully. It gives you your profile, speed and heading, like on 2D XY plots. Super helpful.
like a Winrose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it basically is, right?
Yeah.
That's what we care about from our user standpoint.
Yeah, if you get like the RDI software and you plug in raw files, it'll do that for you, but I don't think we have raw RDI formats available to us on our data portal.
But so given your terminal velocity calculation there, it would have taken how long to reach depth?
That can't be right. 2 hours.
2 hours. It's just from the time Jake got up and left here, and I just now realized he doesn't have auto magic on to make this thing go in a straight line. I drifted probably 10 meters to the west.
Has Atalanta settled out here?
I think we're close. Okay, did we want another 50 north?
I don't know. AJ said he wanted to keep moving north, so
Yeah.
Yeah, make it 200 meters and try to ping it again.
Yeah, let's do another 50 while they're discussing back there.
Bridge nav.
I think they're talking about abandoning the search vector. Yep.
Pulling the plug.
Can we have another 50 meters north, please? Thank you.
They're going to have to find it at some point, but I guess you could just come out here and release it, right?
You wouldn't know where your measurements were being taken, but still be collecting data for a year. It's within a, I don't know, a radius.
Yeah, it's within a 2-kilometer radius.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like horseshoes, close enough.
I think we should do one more move, ping it again,
Yeah.
and then reassess.
Yeah.
Because so far,
All right. Word from the scientists, we're going to abandon the search and head to Mothra.
Roger, yay.
Yeah.
Lynette's having fun here. This is
Yeah, it's a
I
navigator's
think, oh
navigator's
man,
dream.
I think all signs point to north and we should ping it one
We're
more
Maybe
time.
so
when the sub's
close.
out of the water, we can ping it in a few more places to hone in on it.
Yeah,
Roger.
drag
Oh,
around
yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you don't have to worry about dragging ROVs around. You can do pure
Yeah.
navigation.
Well, that's what we've been doing, but our moves are a lot smaller because the sub's in the water. Yeah.
Yeah,
Roger.
good point, good point. Okay,
You'll get
We
your
have to do
chance.
bigger moves. Yeah. Yeah, we're not worried about losing it. I just know that you wanted CTD reference data. Well, then it can say that somewhere.
I think this is just a great lesson in reminding us, don't drop your glasses overboard. You'll never find them again.
Well,
Well,
or
you get
you'll,
lucky.
yeah. We dropped a high voltage glove and
Oh, that's true. That did
not
come back.
only we find it, we picked it up and use it to pick up a high voltage cable on the
That's got to
seabed.
make the highlight reel.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
okay, so we want to move to Mothra now.
I think that's the plan.
Okay. Bridge nav.
We probably want to come up close. Or no, we'll stay here.
Can we cancel that move? Thank you.
What's, which way are we headed to Mothra? I have no idea.
South.
South.
Super south.
Super duper south?
Super duper south.
How far?
1,200 meters.
What do you think?
Let's-
What do you
let's
think we'll come across it?
Come up and do a tow is probably the quickest way to get there.
Yeah.
And after that tedium, I'm sure we can all use a break. Okay, Jake, up you go.
All right, up we go.
You can,
How fast can you tow? Like a knot?
yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have a significant layback with a knot, but it's, oh, sorry, I lost the pot. You say it's over a kilometer?
Yeah, 1,200 meters south.
Yeah. I'll take the hit with the layback. We'll come right up. What's the depth at the other end?
Depth at the other end.
Similar, I reckon.
I think it's similar, yeah.
Just double checking to make sure I don't do something silly.
Yeah. 2,300 meters. Assuming we're going to the IP, which I don't actually know yet. 2,271 meters.
Yeah, we'll start the IP.
Roger.
So deeper than we are now.
Yeah.
So if I come up to, what's our safe depth given all the variables here? 1,800 meters.
Lynette, can you show me where Mothra is relative to us?
Yeah, it's right down here to the south. Are you seeing the high impact screen?
Yeah. Can you zoom out?
Zoom out.
Yeah.
You can spin, what way do you got to spin? Counterclock?
Yes, counterclock.
You can spin around there.
Oh,
We'll
you're
get tail to
spinning
tail.
around.
All right, thanks. We're just trying to look to see if there's any sediment traps, but I don't think there are to watch out for on this transit. There's nothing.
We're going to come up, AJ, to
Yeah.
safe depth here, and
Yep.
then we're going to kick it into gear and see
That
how
sounds
fast
good.
the boat can go. It's probably, well, go as fast as the boat can go, which is probably a knot.
Okay, yeah, when you're all lined up and ready to go, let me know.
We're ready to go.
You're ready.
Yeah, well, I think we're well above it, but we're coming up all the time. You can keep coming up, Jake.
Coming up.
Just make Atalanta step 1800.
180, Roger.
Yeah, no chance that we'll snag a mooring on the way.
Bridge nav.
Wasn't that the
We'd
goal?
like to navigate to the selected target to the south, about 1,200 meters. Can we do that about 1 knot? Oh. Roger, sure, thank you. Okay, ship is gonna change heading
Roger.
to the south and start going.
Turn and burn. So is that 18, 19, 20, 21. That puts us 300 meters off the seabed at least, where we are now.
Yep.
So 1850 is like plenty, no chance we're going to snag a mooring. Or should we come up another 50?
Yeah, I have you 300 meters up.
Yeah, I'll come another 50. Let's put 50 in the bank. Got time while she's turning around.
So good morning for those who are just joining us. We were looking for a mooring, but we have decided that we're not going to find it. We're going to turn around and go to Mothra. And for those of you who are wondering, what is Mothra? No, it is not the nemesis of Godzilla. We are in fact going to a hydrothermal vent tower. One of them was named Godzilla, so naturally another was named Mothra. Scientists do like to have fun and tend to name these things after their favorite movie monsters, or smoke and mirrors, or, well, anything really. The sky's the limit when it comes to naming hydrothermal vents. So Mothra is one of the sites that we are going to check out. Hopefully we'll get rid of this blue water and see some really cool vent towers.
It's interesting that the vents reminded the earlier scientists of movie monsters. I feel more like we're in a Hobbit novel or something when I'm looking at them.
Yeah, I don't know what the naming convention is other than maybe kind of first dibs. But yeah, so they've got names like Godzilla, Mothra, Hulk. There was one called Bambi for a little while because it kind of was cute, I guess. Dante, I think, was aptly named because it was, we visited it 2 days ago, and it had the hottest temperature reading we've seen. So I feel like that's apt.
I think that was at Hulk that had the highest temperature.
Oh, what? Okay, well, that's also apt because it's the strongest thing ever. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah, smooth, total recovery.
Hey, front row, you're okay for a little while. I'm going to go clean off the acoustic release equipment.
Yep.
Roger.
Roger.
And maybe get a snack.
Yeah, me too. It's probably an hour ride down there.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
Is Mothra active? Great question. I believe it to be active, but, oh, yep, confirmed, active. At least it was in May. And again, still referencing the hydrothermal vent, not the kaiju.
That was impressive. She did the total Blues Brother parking job there on her turn.
So
click a
what
button.
data are we collecting at Mothra? We are going to be doing more work with
I'll come
another...
back down.
Sorry, Dan.
Sorry, I should have said I'll stop at 1800.
No, I thought I did, and I neglected to press the auto depth button.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just blathering to myself up here on failure to engage auto depth.
All good. So we'll be collecting, the data we'll be collecting, we'll be working on a BARS, which is a benthic resistivity sensor. So we'll be investigating one that's already down there, and then that may dictate what we do with it. And then if we have time, we will do some more gas tights, clean the camera, and possibly do some photogrammetry. It really depends on how much time we have and what other obstacles come our way. And a viewer has said that Bambi was probably named with Godzilla after the movie Bambi Meets Godzilla. A link has been provided, which I will investigate very trepidatiously. I was unaware of a Bambi Meets Godzilla movie.
So also back then, we had movie libraries on the vessel, which consisted of removable media and one common media player before everyone had devices in their hand or their room.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot more movie nights, and we had a very limited selection, so there was usually a theme of, science fiction movies and classics.
I see, yes, this is a cute little animated cartoon. Well, it's probably... cute's maybe not the right word. But I could definitely see that... our scientists would do something silly like that.
What's Mothra?
What is it? The hydrothermal vent?
No, like you're saying Mothra's like a Godzilla.
Oh yeah, Godzilla versus Mothra. So Mothra is a giant moth.
Oh.
And Godzilla and Mothra engage in an epic battle of claymation proportions.
Have you seen those memes talking about how long Godzilla's legs have to be for it to be sticking out of the water?
Yes, and I did see that Godzilla movie and had exactly the same thought. I don't understand how he swims up to the city, and then he's like, let me just use my blasty breath. And you're like, and your go-go gadget legs? That makes no sense.
Just don't think too hard about it.
I think that is the golden rule when
Never
viewing
thought about it at all.
science fiction movies. Yeah, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't help that when there's like obvious plot holes. I'm just like, no, this isn't realistic, and I can't stop thinking about it.
As my
Really?
entire family
On a
knows.
movie called Godzilla?
I mean, I haven't seen any of the Godzilla movies, but
Really?
Okay,
Oh
that,
my gosh.
we're gonna have to fix that. First of all,
We need to fix that.
yeah,
I
this
mean, let's
is
have
not
a movie
optional.
night on board. I've been
Godzilla.
waiting for it. Does
Yeah.
anyone know how to use the lounge movies?
Yes,
for
yes.
this? Yeah?
Yep.
Oh.
We Amber figured it out,
Ah.
and actually we watched the start of Naked Gun, which is again another fantastic movie. Leslie Nielsen in his prime.
He's great.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it's a comedy.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Okay, I'm writing this down. You're coming to my house. Please understand, these are not optional. This is
Part of my education.
exactly, yes.
Fair.
But what was I gonna say? Godzilla versus Mothra. That was a good one. You know what? Again, the train of thought. It leaves without passengers. It's all good.
I'm going to turn off Atlanta's auto heading there. Let it swing around and do what it needs to do.
How long will it take us to get to
I turned it off.
How long will it take us to go 1 kilometer?
We're doing 1 nautical mile. We're doing we're 0.8 knots right now.
So about how long? An hour?
I don't know. I failed horribly at math.
Okay, well, I'm going to guess an hour.
I would guess an hour.
It's a solid guess.
Should consult with a navigator.
Yes. Oh, yes, the bigger problem with Godzilla is the square cube law. how big Godzilla can get. I remember what I was going to say. Anybody who knows me, I love the Pacific Rim movies because they're just so goofy, except that the only way that the director seemed to be able to create mood was by causing it to rain. So there's a number of scenes where they're inside the robots, spoiler, and it's raining. I mean, it's not really raining. Water is gushing from something, but it's really just raining. There's other ways to create mood.
I don't know.
Oh, I know.
Tell the director that.
I just did. He's listening, I'm sure. But Pacific Rim, one of my favorite movies to hate. In more serious note, are there major differences between fauna at Pacific and Atlantic vents? Absolutely. Yeah, there is quite a difference in the species that we see. My knowledge base is mostly local, and so within the Endeavour vent field, there are approximately 60 known species, 12 of which are completely endemic to that area, so not found anywhere else in the world. There are also some schools of thought that argue that the Atlantic is an older ocean basin, so then things have had longer to progress and evolve, so there are differences there as well. Some similarities is that they are chemosynthetic organisms, meaning that they get their energy from chemicals out of the earth rather than the sun. And some kind of just off-the-cuff differences is, for example, our tube worms are really long and thin, like a big straw, only several centimeters across. But the hydrothermal vent worms are like a pool noodle. They're like 6 feet tall and pop can width. So someone who is more informed on Godzilla lore than I has provided some context. Please, let me tell you about Mothra.
Please.
Mothra is a benevolent goddess moth who had her own media franchise both before and after her appearance in Godzilla movies. She is sometimes defender against Godzilla where he's the villain, and sometimes ally when they're both defending against another kaiju, which is big monster thingy.
Okay, thank you.
In one movie, she was actually the guardian goddess of the sea.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah.
She seems pretty cool.
It's a big moth. What more do you need?
I don't know.
I think my favorite's King Ghidorah, big 3-headed flying space monster.
There's so much I have to learn.
There is, but don't worry, I can teach you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, as long as you suspend all scientific belief and ignore various plot holes, you'll be fine.
I'll try my best.
Okay, all right.
I've been getting into 90s legal thrillers.
90s legal thrillers, such as?
I mean, a famous one, Pelican Brief.
Oh, okay.
What did I watch? That one with Tom Cruise. Oh, hold on, I gotta look it up.
You know, call me crazy, but I think we have time.
It's about like the firm.
Oh, the firm.
Just John Grisham, basically. Watching John Grisham. They're just, I don't know. It's a good genre. Ridiculous, but good.
You know, movies are great, right? You just want to suspend belief for 2 hours, hang out with someone you don't know, follow their adventure, and then go home. No, I'm already at home.
Yeah, I'm already at home.
Yeah. Lynette, do you have a favorite movie? I know that's a tough question. Or maybe like a top 5 that comes to mind?
Oh, no. I have seen so few movies and TV shows.
That's fair. There's a lot of real world out there to enjoy.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. I'd really have to think about that.
Very fair. Jake?
Favorite movie?
Yeah, or again, I hate favorite movie because I don't necessarily have a favorite, but I do have like a top 5 that comes to mind. So for like example, The Emperor's New Groove is hands down top 5 anytime. I watch that movie. Oh, so good. I watch that movie anytime.
I would watch that on the boat.
You know what? I probably could do a reenactment for you. I probably know all the lines. Sorry, Jake, I didn't let you speak there.
I'm thinking, so you were buying me time.
Okay.
Was it Emperor's New Groove?
Oh, what a coincidence. That's my favorite movie.
There are some movies like I'll always go home. My family is like, we'll just throw it on, and you know all the funny lines and stuff. And they're kind of like cult classics, like Young Frankenstein and
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Mystery Men, which is kind of a little yeah. That's a
Also
great movie.
good.
I
Ben
haven't seen that
Stiller.
movie in so long.
Have you seen Young Frankenstein?
Zoolander.
Oh, it's Igor. Oh, Zoolander, so quotable.
Yes, the quotable movies.
Yeah. Someone's put in the Tremors sequels. Yep, I would definitely say I could put on Tremors at all times.
Tremor sequels?
Yeah, with Kevin Bacon. Again, just suspend belief. And they get weirder and weirder.
I'm wondering how many movies I've seen now.
Well, I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you have a favorite movie?
What genre?
Great question. Really, we're accepting any sort of top 5 or immediate ones. Someone in the chat mentioned The Princess Bride. See, again, Princess Bride's way up there. So I don't have like a single favorite, but Princess Bride is good.
From childhood, probably Never Ending Story.
Ooh, Never Ending Story, that's a good one too. How about sci-fi or bad sci-fi?
We watched Alien at the beginning of the cruise. That was pretty good.
Ooh, Alien is good.
That might be.
Never saw
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
I had it, yeah.
Oh,
You
and Ashley.
haven't seen it, Lynette? Or Steph? You haven't seen Alien?
Alien, you said? I can't hear you that well on SPL, Ashley.
Yeah, you're very quiet, Ash.
You haven't seen Alien?
No, I haven't seen Alien.
Oh, you should watch it before the end
Yeah,
of this.
I don't particularly like to watch scary movies or
Fair.
like frightening movies. I usually stick to like, I like a drama or a comedy.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like legal thriller is getting to, I watched actually a couple like, I guess more like horror movies this year, and that was a stretch for
That
me.
was a big step out.
But I watched, I can't think of the name, Us? No. What's that one? No, or is it called Them? I don't know. What's the guy from, oh, I'm bad at thinking of names right now.
Oh, I think I know the one you mean.
The comedian who then started making horror movies.
Yeah. What is that?
Jordan Peele.
Jordan
Yes.
Peele, thank you very much.
And what's
Is it
I know
called Us, I think?
I know the one you mean. Ooh, another great suggestion. Definitely also in my top 5, which clearly doesn't contain 5. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Fabulous film. Hilarious.
It is called Us. And Get Out. I watched those two
Get Out
movies.
was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are super creepy.
Oh, some viewers chiming in. Stephen King's It. Labyrinth with David Bowie.
That's the weird.
Yeah, I
Such
feel
a
like
weird movie.
I feel like David Bowie really. Ooh, there's memories in there.
I
Yep.
can't get
That's
through
on
that
board
movie.
too.
Yep, that one's
What'd
that
you
was
say?
on board. Yep. Ghostbusters, the originals, of course. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Spaceballs, Airplane. Airplane's good. I didn't like Spaceballs as much, but you know, not really my humor. I agree with you, Steph. I don't really like horror movies, but I will say I love monster movies, which some of those can be pretty gory, and
Okay.
and monster. But I don't know. There's something about like man versus monster where I'm like, I'm okay with this, and then there's like monster versus evil deity, and I'm like, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah. I think it's like, yeah, where it's like so out there that you're like, okay, this would never happen. It's like fine.
Yeah.
But when it's like something that
Creepy.
I don't know. Yeah, like a
haunted
creepy
house.
ghost movie or something. I'm like, I'm fine. And then as soon as I'm like somewhere like dark in a basement, I'm like,
Oh no.
Yeah.
People who are just like, oh, let's go into this abandoned house. It's like, no, don't go in there. What
No.
are you thinking?
No, thank you. I once had advice for read advice on the internet for loneliness. If you're lonely, watch a scary movie. Then you won't think you're alone anymore.
Oh. No thanks. Some people love that stuff.
Yeah. Again, it's like the grocery store. That's why there's so many of them. We're all different. Oh yeah, Mechagodzilla, that's a good one. Evolution is a hilarious film. There was a great question here about how much are we allowed to bring on board, focusing it a little bit more. And there isn't really a limit, but we do keep in mind that our accommodations and our spaces are very small and shared. So generally speaking, you kind of bring enough clothes for a week because there's laundry facilities on board. And then something to entertain yourself. So there's been a lot of books going around that we're trading, a couple of card games, and then, as Dan said, formerly DVDs in their cases and now hard drives floating around.
Is there something you guys bring every time? Like, what are your essentials?
Yeah. Jake, do you have an essential?
Sour candy.
Sour candy. That's a good one. Now, do you go for the Sour Patch Kids, or do you
I'll doesn't matter to me.
Fair. Lynette, how about you? Do you have a standard?
Ramen.
Ramen, good call.
Crocs. I bring my Crocs.
Yep, Crocs are good.
Yes.
Ooh, someone said that they like the old kung fu movies with the terrible dubs. I'd have to say those are pretty good as well. And one viewer has written in that they don't like the mainstream horror, which I completely agree with, but they love the B movies, like Six-Headed Shark and Sharknado. I love Sharknado. I have seen all 5 movies. It has been 5. I think there's 6 now,
yeah,
actually.
I think there might be 6.
There's 6, and they are so bad. But they're so bad. And it's not even they're so bad they're good. They're just so bad. But, I mean,
Love
I
to
don't
hate
know.
them.
I do. And my favorite part of the entire Sharknado franchise is in about the 3rd movie. They find this group of smoldering survivors, and they go, hey, can you help us with the sharks? And they go, no, we're a little bit busy right now. And then they carry on their way. And the funny thing is, it's from another equally bad sci-fi movie called Lavarantula, in which there are lava tarantulas. And in Lavarantula, there's a moment where they find all the Sharknado people. And they're like, hey, can you help us? They're like, no, we're a little busy right now. That is the greatest meta joke in the entire sci-fi franchise.
They're doing it for you, Monica.
I felt seen.
For the people who get it.
Yeah, I felt seen. But yeah, those horrible movies are just so pricelessly funny to me. And folks wondering what we're reading on the trip, that is a long list. So many things. I brought the book What If by Randall Munro. He did What If, and it was weird science questions. He did a second one. So it's like short essays on, like, what if you had a mole of moles? Or what if you put T-Rex on a rocket ship? And he answers it scientifically.
How does he come up with the questions?
Oh, no, viewers submit questions.
Oh, okay.
Yep. How about you, Lynette? Are you reading anything good?
Not really much of a reader, to be honest.
That's totally fine.
Don't watch very many movies, TV shows, don't read. What do I do?
Yeah.
Well,
Navigate.
You seem to be a very talented artist.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about you, Jake? You reading anything?
Not at the moment. I haven't had much free time.
That's fair. Ashley, you're up next.
Yeah. Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome Dove. Okay, cool.
Old soul.
What was the book?
Lonesome Dove.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's getting good. What about you, Monica? Any books?
Oh, the What If book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, What If. Yeah. Been reading that one. It may come as no surprise, but my attention span is a little short. So short essays are very useful to me.
I'm trying to get to Jamie's book. I don't know.
Oh, yes, we do have an author on board.
Oh, yeah, Jamie.
Yep, Jamie wrote a book.
What's it called? Lavender?
Let me look here. I don't want to misquote it.
Shameless plug.
Yeah,
Jamie.
Lavender. Speculation?
Yes, that's it.
Lavender speculation.
Check it out.
Ooh, someone's reminiscing about drive-in movie theaters. Has anybody ever been to a drive-in movie theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I went to one in Vernon, which is in the interior BC. That was fun.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we saw Transformers. Well, I mean, most of Transformers. I fell asleep. It was just so comfortable.
I don't know.
And for those of us who are just joining in, welcome. We are currently transiting to Mothra site. Mothra is one of the hydrothermal vents that we are going to be doing a lot of work on, actually. We're going to be replacing a BARS, benthic resistivity sensor, so basically temperature and other things. We're hoping to get some photogrammetry done, so monitoring, basically taking a bunch of pictures to see what it looked like previously in order to kind of capture any growth and report on any things like that. We are just currently in transit, so the ROVs are kind of safe in mid-water as we make our way over. We expected our transit will take about an hour, and that was maybe 20 minutes ago, so about 40 minutes left um, in our transit. And so naturally, we're filling the time with our great book reviews, movie thoughts, and, well, coffee shop chatter. Ooh, do I have an update on today's egg dish? No, I do not. I have no idea what eggs will be served this morning, and I have yet to decipher a pattern. Hey, Jake.
Yep.
Can I drive the ROV? Can I? Please, 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 please.
There's not much driving going on, but you're welcome to come up and sit here. I can show you the controls. Yeah, you don't need it. If you don't, I can just show you around and yeah. So so currently if you look over there, that's our nav screen. We got Hercules and Atalanta stretched out. We're dragging them. Atalanta's facing this way, or Hercules facing this way on that screen. Atalanta's facing this way. So they're like tail to tail. And Hercules is in auto heading. And you can see the heading on the compass here. So that's the red arrow is Hercules, the green arrow is Atalanta. Yeah. Yeah, and yes, we're also in auto depth, which we have in a couple different locations, but just depth there and depth there. So we're holding kind of vertical in the water column. Yeah, someone added that sticker recently. But for example, well, I guess I can tell you what each of the joysticks do. So this joystick allows you to drive forward. So you can see the thrust here. So it's forward thrust, and then reverse thrust, and then turn is twisting this knob. So to turn to starboard, you would turn that way, turn to port, turn that way. Yeah, and then your depth this is kind of reverse. It's like a flight control, so to go up, you go down. And then to go down, you put the joystick up. So an easy thing to try would be if you come out of auto heading, you'll probably be able to, because you're being dragged, you probably really won't be able to, but if you twist this handle, you'll turn the vehicle's heading. And you can see it kind of move there. Yeah. If you can kind of go back and forth. Probably won't be able to go too far because we're being dragged, but yeah. Yeah. So then if you were to kind of line it back up with Atalanta's heading, as you turn and then what we do a lot of the times is we'll get it to a place we want it to be and then click the auto heading button in. A little more. Oh, I lost it there. Hold on, I gotta fix it. Yeah, you can. So one of the interesting things is you can adjust it when it's in auto heading. So if you go like this, you'll see this is the yellow dot is the goal. That's where it's trying to stay. So I can adjust the goal here and the needle will come back. But if I were to release, it snaps back to where the needle is. So you can kind of play with it that way too in the auto. Yeah. Pan tilt, that button or that joystick doesn't work currently. We just added, yeah, you can wiggle it, yeah. And yeah, we have lots of other functions and stuff, our hydraulics functions. So you can pan the camera right and left, down, so you can get an idea here. So if you want to, yeah, you get an idea of what we do. They control the actual camera itself. So these are the hydraulic controls. So there's there's an actual rod on there that extends out with hydraulics. And why is that? Why have someone else do it? So there's a little bit of debate around that. Some ROV groups have all the controls for themselves, like the ROV pilots control everything. But with our group, because we do a lot of visual surveys and we're collecting a lot of, I guess, high quality video, we like to have a dedicated video person to kind of control the focus and the iris to make sure we're getting really high quality footage when we zoom in, because it's a lot for the pilot to really take into account. They can't really be flying and zooming in and then also trying to get the good footage. Yeah, that's a lot. So and it us as pilots too, we don't really know. We kind of know what iris does, but not really. So it's nice to have someone who actually knows what the camera's doing and knows. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. Yeah. And this is the BioX? Yes, so these two don't currently work right now because we added new hydraulic valve packs this year and didn't get a chance to add everything. But working on adding that feature back. Yeah. Yeah.
Look serious, hold on. Thank you, I'll put it on my resume. They'll be like, oh, you did submit a picture of it. I'm like, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, is the dive button earlier to get to quite that?
So that changes the camera. These are our camera layouts. So we have a dive. They call them salvos. So you might hear like a pilot say, "Can you go to the sample salvo if we're putting something in one of the boxes?" So yeah, so that's also another reason for having a dedicated video engineer is they are in control of all these salvos and they know which cameras go where and it's a lot to take on.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
If you had like the suction sampler and stuff, that would be all
Yeah, all the hydraulic functions are controlled on this page here. We're trying to add more joystick controls and stuff, so it's not because.
What was that thing that you were working on downstairs?
Yep. So instead of, because for the arm itself, it'd be nice to be able to do multiple functions at one time rather than single button pushes. So if you have a joystick, you can more intuitively move the functions. Like your brain kind of learns that faster than having like a layout of buttons that you're clicking like that. Yes. So this does the bubble camera, which is down there right now. So we have this little program here that talks to the camera, and it's actually just a security camera that's put in an underwater housing. So it's like a kind of pan tilt zoom. So we have like preset functions. So gauges, craft arm, the porch. So this looks down. And then you also have manual controls. You can tilt. Bubble cam, yeah. Yeah. You can play around with it if you want. So this one's zoom, and this one is like to move the yeah. It's a little laggy. It's an old Panasonic camera from the 90s in there, but it works very well. Yeah. And then those are the presets. So that one's the craft arm. That one's the gauges. That one's the it's M because it used to be Magnum, but that's now the Orion.
And then is this Biobox?
That one used to be the Magnum. That's why it's an M there, but it's actually the Orion arm. So it's the second arm. Oh, that one's porch. So that one's looks straight down. That view is very useful for pilots when we're driving over the ground or getting up close to something, because it's hard to visualize looking out of the Zeus camera how close we are to the ground. So it's kind of a downward looking camera.
Yeah, it's actually been amazing with all the cameras to realize like how hard perspective really is on camera. Like when you guys were doing that, they were doing the serial sampler, and it looked like it was in the hole, and then the other cameras
Yeah.
were way off.
Yep. Yeah, you don't get that perspective that you get when you're actually in the space. Yeah.
You can't forget to there, and then look, cameras everywhere. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course. Maybe we'll have some extra time where you can actually drive later on.
Some great updates in the chat, actually, well, I was playing with the controls, which now are being carefully and meticulously reset. There's someone saying there's drone flights being offered from which you operate from your PC. It's called Nature's Eye. And they're asking if ROVs will ever have public use, given the complexity of their tethers. It's great thought. I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, there are many different types of underwater drones, and there are some that are becoming much more accessible. One that comes to mind is a sea perch, actually. Sea perch is a little underwater drone that you can build out of PVC pipe and pool noodles and little canister motors, and I'm sure you could put a GoPro or similar type camera on there, perhaps.
Yeah. The prices of hobby ROVs are starting to come down to the level of drones.
Yeah,
they're not quite there yet, but Blue Robotics actually just released a nice blog post about, I guess, the prices of a lot of small ROVs that are on the market right now, because they can kind of be a mystery to find. You go on a website and it says contact for pricing and whatever, but Blue Robotics released an article recently kind of going over all of the different price ranges from I think the Sea Perch was actually on there, one of the lower cost ones, all the way up to getting more expensive, like, in the $100,000 range. But it was a really informative article, and talked about the pricing of different components on vehicles and what makes more expensive ones stand out and stuff.
Very cool. And I mean, I can't help but think it's like all things, for the enthusiasts, there's different levels of accessibility, and the more we purchase them, the better, the more they'll come down.
Yeah. There's also a lot of like kits out there where you can make your own very simple ROV for very, very cheap, using some kind of standard household products and stuff. So, and RC components.
And someone says, way to go, Monica, on your way to being an ROV pilot. Absolutely. My resume now just consists of a picture of me holding the controls. What more do you need to know? Actually, here's a great question. Is the joystick set up right-handed? Or is it sort of ambidextrous?
You have to use both your right and your left hand, but it is sort of set up for right-handed controls. The X, Y, and yaw controls are in your right hand, which tend to use a little bit more, and it's